This is like Buddha under the Bodhi tree. That is what this experience is like. And I might freaking name this reading that. And people will be like, what is this lady talking about? Hello, Libra. Welcome to your October soul session. I am Princess India. If you are new, and if you're a family, welcome back, my friend, and what's not, or whatever. So anywho, if you're not familiar with this reading, my soul sessions are spirituality and personal development readings. So we're looking at the overall energy and different experiences that you guys can endure this month, and a little help on those spiritual lessons that we always need to learn. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, we're going to go ahead and jump right in to you guys' cards to see what is going on for the month of October. And happy birthday, happy solar return, my Libra friends. I hope it's been wonderful, and I hope your birthday is wonderful if it hasn't passed yet. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, by the time y'all see this, it'll probably have already been some of you guys' birthdays, so happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, we're going to do a central energy, our challenge. We're going to do a past influence, where you're going, possibilities, you're above energy, and you're below energy. Why do I want to look at the bottom of the deck right now? You guys have the Empress at the bottom of your deck. It's our ruling planet, because I'm a Taurus, and so we have like a thing going on, you know what I'm saying? So anywho, you guys have the Empress at the bottom of you guys' deck. Of course, that's Venus energy. I want to say Venetian, so I can sound super cool and like I know stuff. But whatever the case, what's pretty much undergirding you guys reading for the month of October, I mean, for some of you, you could be a mom, all right? For others of you, okay, this is a very clear message. So some of y'all could be moms, legit, but the very clear thing I see here is Libra. This month is going to be about you guys facing fears that are related to your emotional world. So if you've been like suppressing emotions, like things that you've been feeling, whether it's like, grief, loss, what have you, it's you guys more or less facing your fears, because I feel it's like that quote, if you face your fears, they'll disappear. I feel the main thing that is standing between you all and where it is that you're aspiring to go, or for some of you, just a better situation than the one you're in at present. A great deal of that has to do with experiences that you guys have had in your past that's more or less kind of crippled you. And you may not even be aware that it's crippled you, because it's interesting how fear works. It's like a little disease, that slowly starts to shut down the proverbial organs of your life until, you wake up one day and find yourself complacent, void, and in a proverbial vegetative state. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a sneaky little thing where you compromise here, and here, because you've been hurt before in different situations or with different types of people. So you swear off those situations and people. So, I'll never go hiking again. I'll never ride a bike again. I'll never go in the ocean again. I'll never date again. I'll never trust anybody again. I'll never have friends again. You know what I mean? I'll never open up to coworkers again. So it's more or less what I'm getting just from you guys' underlying energy, being the Empress, is that's really what the whole thing we're talking about this month. This is the energy that you guys are, because like I say, Venus is our ruling planet. I'm not a Libra, I'm just a Taurus, little lowly Taurus over here trying to be in your light. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, I feel for those of you who have isolated, so this buku intuitive messages, y'all. This is coming off of one card. I ain't even turn the rest of the cards over. Just follow me. The thing that's really, really important for you guys, especially those of you who have cut people off, of course, being Libra, relationships are extremely important to you guys, period. Not just romantic, but just other people in general, because it helps balance you out. And I can say that not just for Libras, I can say that for people in general. It's good to be in the absence of who you are, because that's how you really truly know who it is that you really are in so many words. But the vibe that I get is the lack thereof of abundance that many Librans have been having in their life is because of cutting a lot of people off, situations and circumstances off, and more or less wilting, if you will, and not being fruitful because of being cut off from a life force, that of which would be your heart center, that of which would be spirit, that of which would be your emotional realm. You know what I'm saying? So the proverbial waters of your spirit cannot water the gardens of your soul. And that's why things are so parched. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. So I feel you guys this month are stepping into your truth. So whatever it is that we see in these cards here, this is more or less the catalyst situations, if you will, that are going to help you guys to step back into this. Because I feel that's really what the root of the problem has been. It's unknowingly imprisoning yourself because of past fears. I'm here for it. Past influence. We have the 9 of Swords in the reverse. That's dope. So the energy that you guys are leaving behind in September, and we can even say in this last cycle, because, you know, Saturn and gone direct and things of the sort, is anxiousness, insomnia, sleepless nights, consistent negative thinking. And when I say, I have to say this, I don't know what it means yet, but I just have to say it, a barren wasteland. I'll figure out what that means in a second, but it's more or less being imprisoned by your own mind. I more or less see it in the sense of stewing and ruminating on a lot of things gone awry. So that does tie back into what I'm seeing with you guys' underlying energy. It's more or less all of the unrest in one's mental space and your thoughts. A lot of that is coming from past energy, but I don't really feel like you guys have made the connection that, as I like to say it, you know, it's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I mean? It's like something goes wrong and you're like, F it all, F all people. It's like one relationship don't work out, F all relationships. It's dumb. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you guys are literally thinking that, but it's like, it's a very all or nothing vibe that I have here. So what it is I'm seeing is it being off kilter. So without having your emotional realm or not facing your emotions, having that completely out, that's what brings us into this barren wasteland. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just a whole bunch of earth and air. You know what I'm saying? Which would be like my chart. And it's like a dust bowl. You don't want that. Anyway, moving right along. Central energy. We have the Judgment card in the reverse. So you, Libra. This is ignoring a call from spirit and it's being out of alignment. So it's more or less not listening to your intuition is the most simplest way I can say it. Now, of course, this still goes back to this Empress energy, and we're talking about intuition and the waters of your soul and things of the sort, more or less similar to what we're talking about with High Priestess energy, if you will, because if we did this numerologically and we reduced the, 20 with the Judgment, you would get 2. But the whole thing that I'm seeing is with this, it's time for my Libra people to have a rebirth. That's what's being called of you guys this month in wonderful October. And I feel like there's no better time to do so, being that it's you guys' solar return. And I like to look at solar returns or birthdays, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying, as a time of like, it's literally a rebirth, but it's more or less like a baby New Year's, I like to call it. So, you get your little New Year's the first of the year, if you weren't born on January 1. And then when you have your birthday, you can have another proverbial New Year. So it's more or less, it's a time for you to kind of reevaluate. And this is something I love doing myself every year at different points throughout the year. So if you'd like to take a page out of my book, it's more or less whenever your birthday is, it's looking back at the day of your birthday a year ago. look at where you were, what you were doing, who you were around, you know, what kind of stuff you were into, and how much have you changed in that calendar year. And the things that haven't changed, why haven't they changed? You know what I mean? What have you done? Like the goals you had set, you know, like what have you done in the direction of that? What do you feel stopped you and things of the sort? However, like I'm saying, the reason why I feel like this Empress energy is more or less blocked, it's very fear-based energy. Some of you can literally have spiritual gifts and fear your spiritual gifts. So you could be creeped out by the gifts that you have, or you just don't trust yourself. You could be having dreams. You could be, I'm not going to say hearing and seeing things, because that brings us into a whole nother realm. Not hearing and seeing things like, you know, visual and auditory, you know, hallucinations. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the voice within that speaks. You know what I'm saying? The still quiet whisper and things of the sort. But even that may freak someone out. But I feel because of this disconnect from your true origin, because I feel for my Libra people, you guys have modified yourself so much because of things that you've been through or how people have hurt you, that you stepped out of alignment with yourself and thus with spirit. And I feel that's what's really going to come to the fore this month. So it's important to start listening to your intuition, those little hunches and inklings and things of the sort. But if you don't know how to do that, that's still totally cool. I do feel like a wake-up call is going to come. The only thing that I will tell you as a word of advice is that this wake-up call may come and you may not see it as salvation. You may see it as a punishment, but it's not really a punishment. And that's not in any way of me trying to allude to the fact that it's going to be so terrible, horrible, or bad. I'm not saying that at all. It's just more or less people are going to be called out from your life. You're going to be called out of a place because it's just you guys' time to elevate. Now your challenge, I know you lying to me, with these two major arcanas in the center and a major arcana at the bottom of your deck. We have the Justice card, and y'all, I keep forgetting I can show y'all these because I'm not on my camera, so I'm trying to remember now that y'all can actually see the stuff I'm seeing. But anyway, so you guys have wow, you guys have your challenges, the Justice card. So here's the thing. This has a lot to do, depending on when you watch this, Saturn went direct or goes direct, went, whatever. On the 29th of September, if you're watching this in October, it would be went. On the 29th, did I say the 29th of October? I meant the 29th of September. I don't know. Pay me no mind. Mercury retrograde's coming, I'm blaming that. But Saturn went direct on the 29th of September, and it went retrograde in May, on the 10th of May, if I'm not mistaken. So that time within itself, it's always good to look at where Saturn is in your birth chart, but that time within what house it's in, because it's very important. But anyway, the thing that's important with that is during that time, it's more or less a reflection period. And with Saturn having gone direct, when you guys are watching this, Saturn is a lot about karma. Karma is not a scary thing. It's not, you know, coming to whip you and ground you and things of the sort. It's more or less showing you something very simplistic, which is cause and effect, because that's really all karma is. We can put it in the dynamics of, you know, reward and punishment or any other dyad that suits you, but it's really about, you know, the law of the harvest. Whatever it is that you sow is what you reap. So you get back what it is that you put in. So going back to what we were saying about this reflection period that you guys are doing, it's more or less confirming, at least for me, what it is I was seeing with this Empress card. It's more or less the state that one's life is in at present, whether for good or for bad, is merely the byproduct of choices that one has made. Is it right for people to hurt you? Absolutely not. Can someone blame you for not trusting anybody? No, no one can blame you for that. But for every single thing in life, there's consequences, whether for good or for bad. You know what I mean? So if you don't trust people, you don't get close to people, then you're isolated. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you don't trust your emotions, you shut those down. It's like you disconnected from yourself. So there's going to be incongruence. You know what I mean? So it's just the byproduct of choices that are made. So I feel like this month for Libra is a very practical month of what it is that you guys are going to be dealing with. I know with the whole intuition thing, it can seem kind of fuddy-duddy, but in reality, if we were to put it in just straight practical terms, it's just talking about you guys getting off track. It's like at one point in time, it's like you being on your path, you feeling very vibrant and optimistic about life, and suddenly not really feeling that way, or feeling lost and not really knowing what you're doing, where you're going, or feeling stuck, or whatever the case may be, my friend. The other thing I would want to say with this Justice card being here, it's a message that I gave to my COUTURE group on the 31st of October. Well, first, let me say the first 4 days of October are very important. And I feel the first 4 days of October are more or less it's like lighting a match, or let's say, putting an arrow in a bow and pulling it back, right? On the 31st of October is when that arrow is released and it hits its target. So the 31st of October is an energetic portal, just throwing that out there. And it has a lot to do with what it is that the Justice card represents. If we say it in the sense of reward and punishment, it's not like only good special people get rewarded. It's just whatever it is that you sowed is what it is that you reap. Because with us being in October, I don't know why y'all reading this so wordy, Libra. I think it's because it's Libra season, and everybody probably will resonate with this. So I probably got to tell everybody to watch it, but everybody not going to watch it, but that's okay. It's neither here nor there. But anyway, it's almost like balancing scales, dude. And it's on a really large scale, no pun intended, but it's like on a massive scale. It's with the collective. This is like a crossover point. Thank you, Spirit, helping your girl out and whatnot or whatever. We're gonna piggyback off the Judgment card right quick. Any of you who are or were Christians, and I mean, some of y'all who not even Christians, you would know what that is. The movie Left Behind, and the rapture and everything they talk about in the book of Revelation. That would be a great energy signature template for what's going to transpire on the 31st of October. So it's pretty much like a flashpoint. But I have a whole recording on it. I'll share it with you guys. I don't want to take up too much time, Libra, even though that's buku important to you. But whatever the case may be, your biggest challenge is going to be seeing the truth of this. It's easy for us to self-victimize and to blame other people and say how horrible people are and how people do a myriad of things that I read in my comments, that stops us from moving forward. But the truth of the matter is that you are the author and finisher of your destiny. You know what I mean? And to disempower oneself by putting your future, your life, what's possible for you into another person's hands, and to believe that you're limited by circumstance, right? Or to feel victimized by life is a choice. And by all means, if one wants to feel that way, more power to you, my friend. Anywho, moving right along, your underlying energy. We have the 10 of Cups in the reverse, your above energy. We have, the 7 of Swords. What you skip will trip you up later. That's what I always say for the 7 of Swords. What you skip will trip you up later. This is the later, Libra. I feel a lot of this stuff, whatever this is that you guys have not been dealing with and you've been suppressing, it's coming home to roost. Oh, right, Libra, you guys being the foreteller of this whole, Libras, I love y'all. Oh, man, my new subscribers wouldn't understand this. I'm so sorry, new subscribers. My OG subscribers, y'all already know how this goes. I just feel a vibe, dude. Those of you who've been with me for some time, y'all remember when Libra was like pretty much like the foretelling sign that was speaking all of these predictions of things that were happening. And I know a lot of you remember the whole river vision that I saw with the person in the cloak and the wheel turning and things of the sort. Now is that time, my friend. Now is that time. Oh, this is so fascinating. But anywho, what you skip will trip you up later in the sense of you can't ever outrun anything, not even your emotions, because they're energy. And if you internalize your emotions, they're still there. You know what I mean? Your memories are still there. This is really saying to me, it's time for you guys to face your fears. With this 10 of Cups in the reverse being in you guys' underlying energy, God, my posture is so terrible right now because, I was like, in my vibe and all. Anywho, with the 10 of Cups in the reverse being in you guys' underlying energy, dude, it says to me that there's a great deal of I would even go as far as to say depression. It's a lot of depression. It's a lot of anxiety. It's a lot of just, I'm not happy with my life right now vibe. You know what I mean? But the whole thing I want to say to you, Libra, that's important is that, and you guys going forward have the 4 of Cups. Ooh, child. For the end of October, this is so interesting. For the end of October, and I'm getting something else. For the end of October going into November, it's more or less you guys being at this place of making a decision, because this is a really big choice you guys are making. However, it doesn't have much to do. I'm not even gonna say much to do. It has absolutely nothing to do with other people. It's like, this is like Buddha under the Bodhi tree. I love how all of these analogies are coming up. That is what this experience is like. And I might freaking name this reading that, and people will be like, what is this lady talking about? It's legit like Buddha under the Bodhi tree. Like, that is what it is that I'm seeing for Libra this month. It's like, that's what the framework of this energy is for October. It's like you guys facing your demons, but realizing that the demons you're facing is really yourself. You know what I mean? It's like we are all our own greatest enemy. I call it facing the Judas in the mirror, and realizing that your greatest betrayer is yourself in so many words. But I do feel with this 4 of Cups is this dynamic of, solo dolo versus this communal aspect. But with you guys being Librans and being a relational sign, it's like no man or woman is an island. You know what I mean? It's not to say that you need people or that you should be codependent or anything. And I can understand the qualms that people have for that, but not all human beings on planet Earth are horrible people. Like, not everyone is. You know what I'm saying? But to cut yourself off from life is to cut yourself off from life force. And I feel that's really what's being suppressed here. It's like Libra's life force, like that fervor, that drive, that passion, that excitement for living, being happy to just wake up. It's like that's been kind of snuffed out, and it's being left to just trying to dodge feelings that are in and out, trying to desensitize oneself from feeling stagnated, or it's like running away from yourself in so many words, because it's not wanting to face this fear. And it's an illusion. It's an illusion. I kid you not. And it also makes me think of Mayat too, the weighing of the heart ceremony. We could look at it that way as well. Those are 2 things that y'all might want to research. Oh, wow. And I might have to link that below, the whole little thing that I did on that. Man, this is a lot. I'm feeling a vibe, dude. In you guys reading Libra, I mean, it's pretty clear at this point that I've kind of deviated from my atypical way of doing this, especially since we had 24 minutes right now. But it's like, I just feel Spirit's presence, and I have to ride out with that. But in the biggest picture of things, dude, this is an opportunity for you guys to get back to your authentic self. And not in no fuddy-duddy kind of sense, but I mean, who you were before all of these people hurt you, who you were before you stopped believing in magic, who you were before you stopped believing in fairy tales. You know what I mean? Who you were before, you know, all of the disappointments and loss in life, when you stop believing that you deserve to be happy. You know, it's an opportunity that's being offered to you, but you have the choice to choose between your future or your past, and this present is really what it is that I'm seeing here. You're being offered an opportunity, but in order to accept it, you have to be willing to leave the past behind. And it's not saying, because scales, we're talking about balance here. We're talking about healthy boundaries. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not cut everybody and their mama off. It's like people who hurt you. I mean, yeah, if somebody's dangerous, then by all means. But it's like, as you're moving forward into life, you know, you can't say all 7.9 billion people on planet Earth are just horrendous little cretins. You know what I'm saying? It's giving things a chance and learning to trust yourself and trust life again. Because I feel you guys have shut down because you stopped trusting yourself. You stopped trusting life. You stopped trusting your intuition. You stopped trusting spirit. You stopped trusting your experience. And this is a gift you guys are being offered to finally face that and to be able to overcome it, my friend. You know what I am saying and what's not, or whatever. So anywho, that has been your reading, Libra. If you intend on going to my extended, if you're a member, you're already going to do that. I'm just going to say this. Pick one number, 1, 2, or 3. Put it in your mind. Okay? Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Okay? Pick the number. Write it down if you got to. I don't know if your memory is good, you know. Write that down. You're going to need that when we go over to the extended. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, I love your face, guys. I'm going over to Vimeo, Patreon, my website, and YouTube members to do the extended. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, I still love your freaking face, my friend. And as always, I will see you sooner than later. Au revoir. Ciao. Later.